Hey news crew. So we are back with another quick news report. And please make sure you hit the like button on your way in. I thank you so much. Now, we have the Cassville School District in Missouri who's just announced Tuesday that a new policy is set to be implemented in which students can be punished with a paddle. The school district superintendent, Merlyn said that parents were properly notified of the board's approval of the policy back in June. So let's get into this paddling policy. So the policy indicates swatting the buttocks with a paddle is the only form of physical punishment allowed, and if used, it will be provided by the school's principal in the presence of a witness, but not in front of their fellow students. And that the number of swats could depend on the age of the student, with older children receiving as many as 3 and younger kids getting either 1 or 2. Now, a part of this policy reads, when it becomes necessary to use corporal punishment, it shall be administered so that there can be no chance of bodily injury or harm, and that striking a student on the head or face is not permitted. However, if used, this policy will still require written permission, or what I'm calling a liability waiver, from a student's family before paddling is used. Now, what's funny is the parents of this community have allegedly questioned in the past, why can't you paddle my student? With many of the conversations beginning with parents and even requests coming from parents to incorporate this form of punishment. Since the policy has been announced, the response has been overwhelmingly positive, with those parents praising this method. Now, here are the facts. School corporal punishment was deemed constitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1977. The ruling essentially left the decision to keep this form of discipline up to each state, and Missouri was one of the original 19 that chose to do so, alongside Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Wyoming, with New Mexico being added in 2011. Now, the Office for Civil Rights has found that corporal punishment occurs more frequently with students who are male, poor, and of course, ethnic minority. Research has also found that corporal punishment signals to a child that this is the way to settle interpersonal conflicts, both through physical force and the infliction of pain. Such children may in turn resort to this behavior themselves well into their adulthood, and they may also fail to develop trusting, secure relationships with adults and fail to evolve the necessary skills to settle disputes or wield authority in less violent ways. Now, here's my opinion. This is pure laziness to me. Why would any parent allow their child's classroom teacher or principal to paddle their child, like effectively correcting their inappropriate behavior? Whose real responsibility is that? Yours, mom, and yours, dad? I'm sorry, I'm just not going. And for educators to think this should be a part of their job, you really need to do some soul searching, because the bond between a parent and child is different than that of teacher and child. How can one reasonably expect that whomever is administering the paddling is quite honestly not being excessive or has not taken into account some of the mental health challenges that some children face and how hard it might be for them to correct their behavior? See, I'm not understanding a parent who would give full permission and discretion for paddling of their child when the only person who should be issuing that form of discipline should be that parent. How do you waive that kind of liability if something happens to your child? Stop being lazy and raise your children. Now, news crew, I need y'all to let me know your thoughts on corporal punishment, and specifically, what are some reasonable justifications for the paddling of one's child? What are there? And please remember, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can know when the next video drops. And seriously, give me the reasons in the comments box below. And until next time, deuces.